In this video, I thought it would be fun to do a story time with you, which it's been a while since I've talked about this, and it's been 6 years since I made the decision to go trading full time. So I'm going to talk through my journey of kind of my life story up until now with getting into trading. Starting out in high school is when I first got interested in, I say trading. A lot of these things for me is kind of the classic approach that many people took, which was mostly just like, I didn't know about trading, I just knew about the stock market, right? I think it was junior year or senior year of high school, somewhere around there, me and my friend, Robinhood had just dropped, it had just come out, and so we both downloaded Robinhood because we were gonna make a ton of money in the stock market. And I bought one share of GoPro, which I bought at the like 90 something dollars. It was like 85 or $90, I forget exactly what. It ended up being the actual Pika high of GoPro stock, like I think of all time. I haven't looked at it in 6 years, but at the time it was literally the very tippity top. And I was the purchaser of one share of that. And the floor fell out, it ended up falling down a ton. I think I got out of it at like $40, but when I sold it, I had this realization of like, I don't have to hold on to this forever. Like you're always taught, like as a high school kid or a college person or whatever, like when you're starting to, research articles on the stock market, obviously like people like Warren Buffett come up and these other types of real investors who say like you buy something that you love and you hold it forever, right? And so that was my initial approach until I sold this thing for a loss and realized I don't have to like be tied to this forever. But I had no money, right? I was in high school. So fast forward a couple of years into college, I still have no money. In fact, I'm very, very broke. And so what does any broke person do who's, wanting to trade and starting to get involved in the stock market? I go to penny stocks because it sounded cheap. And just because it sounds cheap doesn't mean it is. But traded some penny stocks, a little bit through college. Like I'm talking like not very much. The PDT rule, pattern day trading rule was around. So I couldn't even really like trade, that aggressively. And on penny stocks, I learned very quickly that you need to be able to get in and get out because if you catch a big mover, it's coming right back down. And I got, hammered on some rug pull style stuff, pump and dump, whatever you want to call it. Got hammered on it several times in college for sure. So I graduated from Baylor with a supply chain management degree, was ready to start making some money. I graduated college. I was minus $250 or something like that to my parents. So I had a negative bank account when I graduated in December. Took 3.5 years. I was ready to get out of college. So I graduated a little early. Minus $250, sold my my mountain bike so I could get a U-Haul to go to San Antonio, which was my first job after college. And it was very fun because I started making money for the first time. I paid my parents back, started collecting a paycheck. I got paid every week at that job, which was super fun. I moved beginning of 2017. And in 2017, I had lunch with a mutual friend. And that lunch was very impactful for me because of two things. One, he told me about the bread analogy that if you've watched this channel for a long time, you've heard it. If you haven't, I'll quickly go over it. There's a loaf of bread on the table. People take their slices off of the bread. They get big chunks of it. In this case, it might be like, money or companies or whatever. They take their big piece. But at the end of the day, when all the bread's off the table, after all those people have been cutting that loaf, there's all these little crumbs, right? And he said, I'm a guy that likes to scoop up all the crumbs and I can get fed off of that. And that is really the core principle behind the idea of base hits, which has shaped and defined my trading journey, is from this loaf of bread kind of analogy, right? So shout out to him for that. The second big thing that he did for me was introduce me to crypto. So up until this point, this is about 8 months after I started my job, give or take a little bit, still casually messing around with penny stocks more than I should, casually messing around with blue chip stocks, Nvidia. One of my coworkers was like, very aggressive on it. In hindsight, he was a very smart guy. He is very rich, very rich right now with how it's gone crazy with the AI stuff. Like messing around with some of those, still not like actively day trading because I just didn't have enough money for it. I wasn't past the PDT rule or anything like that. I don't understand options. I didn't understand options back then either. And so he introduces me to crypto in like late summer. I want to say like July, August, June, somewhere around there. I created my first crypto account. And this is what really got me into trading. So everything else I would say was like me wanting to trade and things like that, but I wasn't really trading because I physically couldn't because of the PDT rule and just lack of knowledge and things like that. This is when I got borderline addicted and, started not being as good at my job and things like things like that. So yeah, I got into crypto. The very first thing I saw, I didn't know you could buy fractionals of crypto. And so when I got my Coinbase account, it was Coinbase, Litecoin, or it was Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum were the three options of crypto. I bought Litecoin because it was like $130 or $100 or something like that. And I was like, I can spend $100 to figure this out. Bitcoin was $3,000 and that was too expensive, I didn't know I could buy little bits of it at the time. But what really shaped my world here is that crypto trading was 24/7. And I also learned that I could trade very, very, very micro fractions with that. It's not like stocks where you have to buy one stock. I could buy, 0.0005 Bitcoin instead of one Bitcoin for like $3 or something. At the time, this was all very gray area on exchanges, leverage, margin, all of those types of things, but I loved it. I loved high leverage crypto trading. 2017, we had a crazy run up. I started my YouTube channel somewhere around this time in order to do a few things, which was one, I wanted to meet other traders, and two, I wanted to journal and, hold myself accountable to getting better. I've grew up in an environment where accountability is very important, vulnerability is very important, and in order to improve, you have to call out what's not working, right? And so I made the channel for that. I wanted to do my analysis on crypto and then go back and see if it was correct or not, right? It started as Crypto Matt. That's the kind of origin story here, is Crypto Matt. Transitioned out of crypto into futures, obviously. It changed the name to Trades by Matt. The next year and a half really of my life was really hardcore into crypto trading. And I ended up changing jobs, moving cities, becoming a consultant, spending time on the bench. And while I was on the bench, I was doing like hardly any work. And so I was trading all day, every day. 8 hours a day, I was going into the office trading. And it's funny, like on my old videos, you can see me in a suit and tie. You might have already seen it in my apartment, right? That was during my lunch break. I was going in and filming videos and trading crypto during my lunch break. And then I transitioned out of that and went to, a corporate office that had conference rooms. And so I'd go sit down in a conference room, open up my laptop, and trade 8 hours straight. I would stream and film videos in these conference rooms, which I have on my channel also, which is hilarious. I was a terrible worker, terrible employee, sorry, but I was obsessed. And around that same time, 2018, 2019 is when, 2018, a lot of the exchanges kind of got taken offline that were overseas. It was that gray area that I was talking about. And I was like, man, I'm not willing to risk my money getting tied up into something that it shouldn't be tied up into. I need to find an alternative. And that's when I found futures. Tail end of 2018 was my first futures trade, which that video is here. It's on NinjaTrader, and you can see by the number of trades I made, it was freaking hectic. I didn't know what I was doing. But like anything, you live, you learn, and you grow, and you get obsessed with it. And like, I couldn't think about anything other than futures. And so I was on the bench still at this consulting job on a voice chat in Discord with all my buddies, 8 hours a day talking about futures trading, using Tradeify, using NinjaTrader, discovering props, discovering Top Step back in the day, getting funded, taking payouts, doing personal accounts, doing this whole journey that's very much alive in the community right now, but this was back in 2019. Then fast forward, 2020 comes around, COVID. And at this point, I changed jobs again into a private equity firm, and my wife had a conversation with me, which was, hey, you're working a lot of hours, which was true. It was a lot of hours. It was 70, 80 hours a week or whatever. And I was waking up very early in the morning to trade because I just needed my fix still. I just love the markets. Even if I couldn't trade, I wanted to watch the markets. And like, I was waking up at, 2, 3 in the morning, trying to trade for a couple hours before I needed to start doing work stuff at 5, 6 in the morning, right? And then I'm working all day and then go to bed. That time was very defining for me also. It taught me, hard work and work ethic. It also showed me what I want to do, right? I got like this video of like prioritizing your priorities, right? It's what I had to do. I had to prioritize the fact that my priority was trading. And so for me, that meant waking up super early to get in my reps, to practice, to get better. And I finally started to a point where I was making more money doing that in an hour or two than I was doing working the next 10, 11, 12 hours at my private equity job. And that's when my wife approached me and was like, hey, you're making more money doing this than this. When are you going to quit to do this and get some of your time back because you're working yourself to death right now? It's funny, I'm a fairly safe guy, I think. Even though like I trade for a living, I still like wanted, you know, security of a paycheck. I wanted the security of health insurance. I wanted the security of time off and being able to take a vacation on someone else's dime. Because when you start working for yourself and trading for yourself, when you take a vacation, you are quite literally paying for that because there is no other income coming in. I realized all those things and it was really hard for me. And I finally listened to my wife and was like, you know what, you're right. Thank you. And I only quit my job because my wife was pushing me in that direction to do it, which, you know, side note here is if you don't have anybody in your corner, find someone in your corner, whether it's a spouse or a best friend or a parent or something like that. There's a lot of times that hard decisions come up and it's, you know, super important to have someone who's not you, but looking in to say like, you need to do this. You have to do this. You got to take the step, man. Like it's right there in front of you. Just go take the step. So go find someone like that. Made the jump in 2020 in COVID and hadn't looked back. I mean, it's been quite the journey. That's like 3 years of aggressive prioritization, commitment, obsession from, you know, me and, you know, Grace from my wife to be with me while I was literally obsessed and doing it 24/7 and like couldn't stop thinking about anything other than trading on my phone, trading at home. Don't recommend trading on your phone, but I was doing it to get the reps, you know? And now I love futures. I don't want to trade anything other than futures. I still love props. I still love trading personals. Like none of that has changed since 2019. It just looks a little different now. It's bigger, it's better, it's everything that it should be because it's growth, right? Stressful for sure. It's more stressful now than it was back then because I'm like got more responsibility. I've got kids and stuff now, but like the journey is the journey and that's part of it. And so it's fun to walk down memory lane and I give you this story to hopefully, you know, provide an insight into like how I got here, but also just to motivate you on your journey, whether it's with trading or your career or whatever. Like put the reps in, man, because the outcome of putting in the reps is so worth it and putting in the time is so worth it when you look back. And I saw this like great little quote on Instagram. It was like one of those little motivation deals on Instagram, but it was like, imagine if you knew that it took 100 no's to get to your goal. How would like current you feel every time you heard the answer, like the word no? And the answer is like, you would be ecstatic, right? Because you're going towards your goal. The same thing applies to like putting in the work, right? Whether it's hearing no being told at you and that lights a fire under you or whatever, or it's just like putting in the time and the work. How would you feel if you knew that like putting in the work right now would yield you your goal? And coming from someone who is experiencing that, and I continue to experience that, and I want to continue to experience it even more, it fires me up, and I hope it fires you up. So that's kind of the whole point of this video. But yeah, that's it for story time with Matt on the couch, changing up the scenery a little bit. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're live every day, Monday through Friday. Yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Peace, everybody.